Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the RTTTL language. All right, so what this is, basically back in the day on old flip phones, before you could play like MP3 files out of them, you had to play little 8-bit music. And people discovered, or they created a way that you could actually program in on your phone your own songs. Anyway, that was RTTTL. And what you can do is if you go out on the internet, you can actually search and you can find songs that people have coded for RTTTL that you can then copy and paste in. Not so bad, right? So there's a lot of code here that you don't need to worry about. Things you do need to do though, however, you need a pitches.h tab, just like we did in the last tutorial. So you're going to need that because that'll have all of the exact frequencies you need. And then we've got already a whole bunch of songs in here. You'll notice that these are all commented out, except this last one is not. So the Mission Impossible theme is not commented out. So if I wanted to change to a different song, I would just comment this one out and then say I want the A-Team song. Not so bad, right? All right, how does it actually work? So let's take a look here. So first we have a void setup, which you should be familiar with. All we're doing is doing our serial begin. And then we've got this void play RTTTL. So here's the thing. So far we've had void setup and void loop. You can actually create your own functions. So this is a function that was created specifically to play these tones. I'm going to skip past it because you don't really need to know how it works. So if I skip all the way down to the bottom, here's my void loop. Okay? Here's my void loop. And you can see right here in the code is where I call that play RTTL function. And I feed it an argument. In this case, the argument is the word song, and then that goes in. So that grabs that A-Team song that I uncommented, and that feeds that to the RTTTL. And then when it's done playing, it prints done, and then it says while 1. Well, this is weird. We haven't really seen this before. Usually we see while looking something like this. We'll say while x is greater than 0, or yeah, x is greater than 0, do something, right? We get something like that, right? So what's happening is, as long as x is less than 0, it'll do this over and 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 over again. Now, because what's happening is it's evaluating whether this statement is true or false. If the statement is true, it keeps going. If it's false, it just ends. So if I say 1, what we're really saying is the same thing as saying true. I could also say while true. Not so bad, right? So while is looking for an argument, and that argument is either true or false. All right? And by doing an equality or an inequality, that returns a true or false. That's what while is looking for. So if I say while true, it'll keep doing this over and over and over again, and we'll never leave our while. Well, in Arduino, 1 and true are synonymous. 0 and false are synonymous. So all I have to do is if I do this, while 1 semicolon, I'm good to go. What it means is I'll get to here and I will stay stuck inside the while. I'll never leave. All right, that's all this is doing. So here's the thing. There's not a lot of code needed to actually play the song inside our loop. This is all we really need. So far, so good. So you can actually do other stuff with this. You could say, have a push button that triggers the song to play. Oh, or I could have multiple push buttons, and I could go up here and I could have different songs be different names, and then my different push buttons could control those different songs. Oh, now you may discover that you can't have too many songs. You may run out of memory on the Arduino. I'm not sure, but it's something to be aware of. Now, one of the things you can do if it's way too confusing to have this right here, I can actually take this void play RTTL, scroll all the way to the bottom of it, hit Shift. I'm going to cut this. All right, not so bad. Now this program looks very understandable. And then I'm going to create a new tab. New tab. I'm going to give the tab a name. And then I'm going to paste the RTTL function. So I can have extra tabs over here that have all my extra functions if I want. So now I don't need to have that there, and it looks much cleaner. I can actually see what's going on. I've got my songs, I can pick the one I want, I got my setup, and I got my loop, and we're good to go. So this is how you can use the RTTL program, and you can then play RTTL songs. So what I want you to do is make this run. After you get it running, add a button so that you have to press the button in order for the song to play. Not so bad, right? Maybe add a second button so you can switch between two different songs. Also kind of cool. And then what I want you to do is go out to the internet and see if you can find another song that you want to play. All right? So have fun with that.